We're Orlando Pharmaceuticals. We started out our iCore journey as pancreatic cancer therapies. Our initial hypothesis was, can we take a patient sample and assess if patients would be good candidates for our drugs or other drugs like it? Throughout our time at iCore, we were able to pivot our value proposition and the main core of our business. We realized our value proposition lies in our ability to predict resistance to a well-known and tolerated FDA-approved drug called DFMO. We also realized that our first minimum viable product, a test kit, could be sold as a way to help doctors and clinicians predict DFMO resistance through our proprietary set of biomarkers. We thought that Orlando Pharmaceuticals aligned much more closely with this business idea, as our second minimum viable product is a companion therapy that will treat DFMO-resistant cancers that our kit is able to predict. Because we shifted our value proposition, we also had to make sure that our new value proposition matched our customer segments, and we had to go through a process of discovery to figure out what those customer segments were. The path to bringing a drug to market is a time-intensive and resource-intensive adventure. We realized our kit was one way along that path to sustain our business during the long process of clinical testing and FDA approval. We also realized our kit would have to go through a similar, yet less intensive process to reach FDA approval if it were to be sold as a diagnostic companion. Another stop along our route was the realization that we could market our kit to academic researchers until we secured that FDA approval. This means we talk to academic researchers in labs like the ones we have here at UCF. We talk to people who could help us make our kit. We talk to clinicians who would be customers for our kit once it was approved. And lastly, we talk to Big Pharma about the possibility of licensing our drugs to help us bring them to market. Once we established what our journey would be, we were able to face the process of funding such a venture, and we began to look at the funding mechanisms that could provide us with parts of the journey, and we even applied for a $1 million NIH grant. We still have a lot of work to do, but we feel we have positioned ourselves for success with the key partnerships we need to assist us in this venture by knowing the wants and needs of the customer, and in doing so provide better gains for our customers to alleviate some of the pains in the treatment of cancer, an endeavor that we feel will ultimately make a large difference in patient lives.